I'm June Scott, and I'm the artist behind Beyond the Visual. Beyond the Visual is an audio experience that takes a topic, quite a contemporary topic, and delivers it to an audience purely with audio. I feel this is made for audiences that are maybe from groups or communities that want to reflect and want to open up a further dialogue which says, how do we feel about the subject? The visual isn't the most important thing. It's there, and to some people it's very important. But when it comes to it, how you feel is the most important. I think eyeliner stayed in every decade. So we've been talking about how people do this. Do you fake it with your makeup, or do you just enhance? To me, it's very active, and I like to create work that explores subjects and I suppose challenges subjects, and then almost challenging myself. I like using people's lived experiences alongside my own to create work that is honest, and I think I like that honesty of people, which is why as an artist I like to use their words and not having them represented by somebody else. I like to have them presented in their voices. I'm June Scott, and I'm the artist behind Beyond the Visual.
Go for it.
Beyond the Visual is an audio experience that takes a topic, quite a contemporary topic, and delivers it to an audience purely with audio. So it also will then challenge the audience to look at subjects when there's no visual cues and they've only got the power of the words to listen to. So this Beyond the Visual is about beauty, which to many may be an obviously visual descriptor. So taking that and stripping away the visual element of it gives people a chance to reflect on what is important. So my piece, I've been in dialogue with several members of the public about what the word beauty means to them and what it conjures up. And I've created an audio experience which is listening to these people in dialogue talking about what beauty means to them. And then afterwards the dialogue will continue with a forum discussion where audience members are able to then participate and offer their own reflections on the word.
Let's try that again then.
What do you want now?
Just the headphones again, just pop them on.
feel this is made for audiences that are
Brilliant.
maybe from groups or communities that are feeling, is the word oppressed, or want to reflect and want to open up a further dialogue which says, how do we feel about the subject? Because doing this, I've found that everybody has such a different perspective on it. And lots of people have been reflecting on self-care and reflecting on the beauty inside and how fake people can make their beauty. So I think, I feel like teenagers, it's like secondary school, could get a lot out of it by realising, and maybe not realise, but listening to people talking about how the visual isn't the most important thing. It's there, and to some people it's very important. But when it comes to it, how you feel is the most important. To other communities that may suffer prejudice because of their appearance, to hear people talking about their own morals and values in relationship to this, while you don't know what their aesthetic is. So you're hearing people and not knowing an age, an ethnicity, do they suffer any disability barriers. That's stripped away. So these are just voices that you're hearing that are speaking about personal lived experiences. This doesn't matter. They are telling you what they think is fashionable and what they think is beautiful. But it should be what you feel. But people are just too influenced now by social media and peer pressure.
So why this topic? Why beauty? Does it have importance to you, or why did you? I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I have one daughter, 2 granddaughters. I have 3 sons, and I've got 3 grandsons. And I know as well with society today, it's very visual around how people look, and they have to conform. And I think it's this word conform that almost makes some people, regardless of their gender or even their age, feel that they have to fit into a certain bracket. And this worries me, especially with some of, it's like not so much my daughter, because she grew up with no social media, but especially like my grandchildren have grown up with social media and the pressures of social media and the pressures of this filtered world. So I wanted to look at, because of how I felt around this word beauty that was portrayed in this way, I wanted to explore it to see how other people's reality lived up to what I perceived. So beauty was very important to look at it for that reason, because I just feel that I felt that it was very superficial, but listening to people talk, it's really changed how I've perceived beauty, which is something I'm always open to in my work. I'm always open to having the opportunity to reflect on my own feelings. That was great. Thank you very much. It's different to the podcast because we're not actually looking for like an actual conversation going on. So I don't have to have a starter and an ending. I can because it's all, it's just once I start editing it together. That's interesting. So your perception of beauty has changed from the start of this project to the end of it because of the interviews?
I still have that element that there's such a superficial side to beauty. But after having dialogues with people, which is where I'm really listening to their views, and we almost come into the middle and get these views, and I put my views in and they put their views in. We almost create like a whole new little world when we're talking between us. And the self-affirmation came in, and self-love and freedom, the freedom to say, this is me, this is who I am.
Why the no visuals? Why were you insistent on not showing people's faces, or not having any visuals for your piece at all, just it being like an audio only piece?
Yeah. This harks back to last year when I created an audio experience, where I didn't know it was going to end up as audio, and allowed a process to happen, and realised that I was asking too much of people to listen, to concentrate on something and watch something at the same time. And it became, what was the most important piece of this project? And the thing that I wanted people to do more was to listen to what was being said. And I suppose it's taken away a sense. And if you take away the sense of sight, your hearing has to be heightened. So when that's heightened, you're going to concentrate more, hopefully, fingers crossed. So it's just to sort of like do it without a distraction, and to allow for just a deeper immersion into what's being said, as opposed to having to watch a visual where maybe something's happening in the background and you might become a little bit distracted, or you might notice that you like their top, so you start thinking about, I wonder where they bought it from. Well, all that's stripped. This sort of work I would have struggled to do this if I'd gone to university at 18-year-old, 18, 19, 20, because the technology wasn't there to create something that I could have as an audio without tape recorders and things around for people. Streaming wasn't there. There wasn't this technology that was available to be able to do this. So also, I think, from a generation point of view, there's a lot of people in my generation, we didn't have this instant visual experience, because we had that. You know, if you take a photograph now on a night out, you take 6 on your phone and you delete them because you didn't like any of them. But visual, when I was that age, you took all your photos on your disposable camera, or on your camera, and then you took the film to Boots and you waited a week to get it back, only to get a sticker stuck on them telling you that they're blurred and they're overexposed. And you're like, well, I've just spent $5.99 to be told I'm rubbish at taking pictures. And it's like, how do you get around that explaining it to students and young people today, that is a, you know, if you only had one chance to take a photograph, and that was the only chance you had, what effort would you put into it? Would you treat them as this disposable commodity that you have now with a smartphone and with technology? It's become so disposable that if we don't like a picture, we just go, I don't look good in that. I need to change the angle I look at. And you go, no, that picture you took was you.
Is there anything on this project that just didn't work for you? Is there anything, any process or any one element of this project where you just thought, it's not working, or this isn't going to work?
There was one element that won't work because I don't have time. I'm very interested in, obviously, the relationship between two people when they talk, the moment of connection between them. And I'm also really interested in that connection when it's silent. So I wanted to do some exploration into this connection, but silently, you know, like, so if two people are sitting opposite each other and they're not talking, but they're just watching each other, do we get a connection? So I wanted to take this and really explore it. And it not so much didn't work, but I don't have the time to do it. So I've got this bit sitting there, bubbling away, going, I really want to be done, but I haven't got time. So I suppose in that respect, yeah, I stretched myself too far thinking I could fit this in. I have considered, will I put a visual element in? And then I keep having to go, no. Mm-hmm. The hard thing for me is when people are speaking with me, everything is, the words are so amazing, I never want to lose any of it. But with time constraints, I've got to sometimes say,
this sentence doesn't fit. And that is such a gut-wrenching moment for me to go, that is a beautiful line of dialogue, but it doesn't have a place. So for this one, I'm probably going to create like an edited version with everybody in, and then have all the separate dialogues available as well, so that there's more of what the person said.
Lastly then, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned on this project, both creatively and personally?
Creatively, I think it combines it into one. It's the fact that personally I'm loving being able to take a subject that I've looked at, which is dialogue research, since my first year at university. And each year I've done a little bit to do with dialogue, and now I'm focusing on dialogue. And creatively, I'm loving the fact that I'm now able to hone it down even more. And stuff that I've looked at over 3 years, it's going, oh, hang on, I'm now deeper and deeper and deeper. So creatively, I've learned that this big subject, you can focus in on one bit and really expand on that. Personally, I found that I now speak academic. Don't laugh. My husband noticed I was having a conversation with him, and I suddenly I was talking away, and I goes, I'm talking academic, aren't I? He goes, yes. And it was just little words I say and little ways I structure sentences now. I suddenly started speaking, academic.
June,
Before you go, I've got one question to ask you. So if I was going to say the word beauty to you, what does it conjure up?
what does beauty mean to me? When I think of the word beauty, I think